The Many Voices of Alasdair Fraser. Although Alasdair Fraser has a whimsical sense of humor that comes across in his stage patter during performances, he is generally a man of few words. His true eloquence comes to the fore when he is speaking through the language of music. His fiddle is his mouthpiece through which he expresses his thoughts, feelings, and life rhythms, even as he rides on the wave of a wealth of traditional music, of which he has become a primary exponent and promoter. As a young man in Scotland, Alasdair went in search of the soul of Scottish fiddle music, which through cultural suppression and the influences of classical music had been drained away over the decades, leaving behind the slick, efficient, mechanical rituals practiced in Strathspey and Reel societies. When he discovered the Cape Breton Symphony, playing with Bobby Brown's dance band and the whole living Scottish tradition that had been preserved in the Gaelic singing, dancing, fiddling, and piping in Cape Breton, he found the missing link he was looking for and a new voice for his own expression. Not one to keep a good idea for himself, he became a major promoter of Cape Breton music in Scotland, at the forefront of a Scottish cultural renaissance and rising national identity. He started teaching Highland fiddle at the Gaelic College on the Isle of Skye, Salmarostig, and brought Buddy McMaster over to teach Cape Breton fiddling and reintroduce the Scots to their own traditions. He also brought Harvey Beaton and Mary Janet MacDonald to Skye to teach Cape Breton step dancing, so now the Scots are beating out their own rhythms with their feet, like their Irish river dance cousins. While the Cape Breton music is focused on that driving beat into the ground, Alasdair's spirit also longs for that lateral sweeping movement across the floor found in Scottish country dancing, or that bouncing, lifting movement found in Highland dancing. To dance to Alasdair's playing a strathspey like Lassacori's Mill is to be swept off your feet and soar by your heartstrings like Peter Pan taking flight. Scottish country dancers across the country and abroad treasure the opportunity to dance to his playing. Non-dancers who have never heard Alasdair in this role have missed a major part of his profession. Traditionally, the test of a good fiddler is his ability to inspire even the tiredest person irresistibly into dancing. I think Alasdair has passed the test overwhelmingly. To keep himself interested in the dance tunes and to give the dancers surprises and unexpected lifts of energy, he plays with the phrasing, puts in variations of the melody, and shows great swings and dynamics. Some routine dancers may feel distracted by all this or thrown off their rhythm, but most dancers go with the flow he creates and enjoy the experience immensely. Unfortunately, none of these spontaneous flights of Alasdair's dance playing have been captured in commercial recordings, so his recorded legacy does not accurately represent all of his facets. For the most part, Alasdair's recordings are more for listening than for dancing. His first album, Portrait of a Scottish Fiddler, raises the old Strathspey and Reel mentality into new elegance and rigor while retaining a formal allegiance. His second recording, Skydance, with pianist Paul Macless, brought down the old school in Scotland by featuring impressionistic original melodies and introducing the accompaniment of a synthesizer and drums. The third album, The Driven Bow, pays tribute to the Cape Breton rhythms, but instead of the typical piano accompaniment, features the interactive guitar work of Jody Stecker. To hear Alasdair closest to the Cape Breton vein, listen to him play with pianist Barbara MacDonald McGowan on her recording The Fiddler's Friend. Alasdair's fourth album, The Road North, again with Paul Macless, combines the formal elegance of his first recording with the impressionistic sweep of his second to produce a perfect gem and a favorite among many listeners. His latest 2 recordings with his band Skydance, Dawn Dance, and Way to Hope Street consist of almost entirely original compositions and arrangements influenced by the instruments and different musical backgrounds of the band members. The overall tenor of the recordings requires a gentle and moody contemplation, as if driving the rolling hills of Ireland, focusing intently on the nuances and rich sounds and rhythms of the highly talented musicians listening and interacting with one another. The dancer or the enthusiast seeking emotional heights and depths, though, may find more satisfaction hearing Alasdair live as a soloist with a single accompanist. As a musical linguist, Alasdair seeks out different modes of expression through a variety of accompanists and musical traditions. His Valley of the Moon Scottish Fiddling School, held every summer during the last week of August in the redwoods of the Santa Cruz Mountains, reflects the diverse accompanists and influences that he appreciates and seeks to introduce to others. Pianists Paul Mackless, Muriel Johnstone, and Jacqueline Schwab all bring a contemplative, impressionistic edge to his playing. Muriel is a noted composer, music arranger, band leader for Scottish country dancing, has played for dances with Alasdair frequently, and has taught at the school twice. Jacqueline is a jazz pianist who taught one summer. Barbara MacDonald-Magone brings out the exciting step dance till you drop mode in Alasdair with her traditional Cape Breton piano style. Cellist Abby Newton brings out the classical side of Alasdair's playing and has helped to revive traditional Baroque-era accompaniment to Scottish fiddling by teaching a cello class for a number of years. Jody Stecker used to teach mandolin and guitar accompaniment, and Nova Scotian flute player Chris Norman in the Skydance band has taught a flute class. Chris Caswell teaches bodhrán and rhythm class and seeks to awaken the sleeping drummer in all those fiddlers rhythmically suppressed by classical violin training. For fiddling instruction, Alasdair has brought in world-class exponents of Scottish fiddling styles and related traditions. For 6 years, Buddy McMaster taught Cape Breton fiddling styles to students from around North America and Scotland, who took it home and influenced their friends and communities. Jerry Holland and Carl Mackenzie subsequently taught, but the Cape Breton style hasn't been represented for the last few years, as the Cayley Trails School in Cape Breton offers students new opportunities to learn. Alasdair has always taught Highland fiddling, twice joined by Lochaber fiddler Angus Grant. Shetland fiddling has also been well represented by Ali Bain, the late Willie Hunter, and Tom Anderson's prize student Katrina MacDonald. Alasdair has exposed students to related fiddling styles to help define different aspects of Scottish music. Among Irish fiddlers, the camp has seen the Donegal style of Marana Winnie, the traditional style of James Kelly, and the individual expressive style of Martin Hayes. Last year, Bruce Molsky introduced the old-timey Appalachian style derived from Scottish roots. Previously, Matt Glazer, who has played with country and jazz-oriented bands and teaches at the Berklee College of Music, introduced old-timey tunes and inspired students in ways to create their own tunes. As a teacher, Alasdair tries to concoct an exciting mix of musical ideas to inspire students to learn to listen better and create from the mix their own styles and forms of musical self-expression. He does rhythm exercises and encourages students to take Chris Caswell's bodhrán and rhythm class to awaken the sleeping drummers within. Dance classes have also been important to teach fiddlers rhythm and to play for dancing. Scottish country dancing, Highland dancing, and clogging have been taught. Mary Janet MacDonald and Harvey Beaton taught Cape Breton step dancing for a number of years and helped spread its popularity in the United States. Alasdair's folks come from Inverness. His father was a Gaelic speaker, and he grew up with Gaelic singing. He understands how the Gaelic sounds are translated to the fiddle, and so has helped introduce Gaelic to a number of fiddlers by having Gaelic singing classes at the camp. Among the teachers have been Donnie MacLeod and Rhoda MacDonald of Lewis, Donnie MacDonald of Lewis, Margaret Bennett and Arthur Cormack of Skye, and most recently, Norman Kennedy, a weaver from Aberdeenshire.